You saw the thumbnail. So how did I go from this to this? And I'm not going to tell you in how long, because I don't want you to get set on that and wonder why you haven't made it that far, that fast, or that slow, because everybody's journey is different. So this was me, or the first picture was me, fresh out of college, wondering what I'm going to do with my life. You could see I was eating, used to work at Sam's, so everything was in bulk. Used to eat the dollar hot dogs and things like that every day for lunch. So saw myself in the mirror one day and was wondering what the hell happened. So life happened. Made a decision from college, used to work out every single day. Gym was accessible. Now I don't have an accessible gym, not with the same amenities as that one. I had an apartment gym. But I come from a background of not fitness, but a background of being an athlete, lifting weights all the time. So what do I do to get to this picture? One thing that I did try that did not work was one of those high intensity interval training videos where they have you do X amount of reps in X amount of time, then you rest and you do it over again. That became old really quick. And we moved from that apartment we were in to another apartment that was literally 5 minutes away from the gym. Now I don't have any excuses. So I joined the gym and I started working out 5 days a week. I don't remember what split it was, but I was working 5 days a week, working out 5 days a week, before or after work. It really doesn't matter, whatever your preference is. And I was making progress, but for some reason it would stall. And it wasn't about losing weight at the time. It was more about building muscle and getting stronger. And so by then I had slimmed down a little bit. And so it started to bulk. And I'm like, man, what do I need to do? One of the first things I did was I eliminated carbs. So I'm talking 20, 30, 40, 50 carbs a day, trying to get protein in with my protein shakes, a decent breakfast, decent lunch, decent dinner. And then that morphed into just eating breakfast. And then when I was at work, my lunch would be a sandwich. I would eat a sandwich, banana, protein shake. And little did I know I wasn't feeding my body enough. So that lasted for maybe a year and a half, where, I look decent, but I look flat. I look small. There's no mass being built. And one day I had a conversation, which I mentioned in another video of mine, with an old friend of mine. He said, "What are you eating?" And I had just started deadlifting at the time. He said, "What are you eating?" And I told him. He was like, "Brundage," was my name. "You need to eat." And for some reason that struck a chord. And literally from that point on, I've been able to grow and I've been able to cut at will. And I say that meaning I know what I need to do. But of course, it's not that easy, because you have to put better days, or you have to put more days in that are 80% all in. And I say 80%, the 80-20 rule. There's this rule where you eat 80% of what you need, 20% of what you want. And you can kind of use that to model everything, because trying to live a perfect life is not going to be fulfilling, because at the end of the day, what do you really gain? Did you really live? And so I started doing 80-20, and I also went from working 5 days. I think this was the biggest factor. I went from working out 5 days a week to 6 days a week. Now I could focus 2 muscle groups per day, twice a week. So my split, which I've tried to get away from, but it works. It was chest and triceps, back and biceps, legs and shoulders, because I couldn't fit my shoulders in with my chest and triceps. So why not put it on shoulder day? Put it on leg day. And it worked out pretty good. And I believe this wholeheartedly. On your weekends, the days you don't have anything to do, one of those days needs to be dedicated to working out, because 2 days in a row, number one, that's 2 days out of the gym. That's an extra day to get away from the routine. That's an extra day to mess up. That's an extra day where you're not burning extra calories. That's an extra day where you can eat extra calories and burn more, because the goal is to lose weight as slow as possible. That's how you grow. That's how you hold on to the most lean mass as possible. And there are formulas and a whole bunch of stuff out there, but the idea is you need to pick something that works for you. If you're seeing results, stick with it. Yes, you want to study everything that you see out there and apply to yourself what works for you the most. And for me, it's bodybuilding, power building. And as I've gotten older, I've started incorporating more kettlebells, more hip mobility, plyos, things of that nature, which I would encourage you to do so as well, especially if you're younger, because you don't want to get older like me. I'm 37 years old. You don't want to get older like me and end up just starting to work on mobility. And all of that stuff goes hand in hand, because the idea of a perfect body, and I say perfect in a sense that it's not about being the strongest or being the leanest. It's how well do you move in all planes of motion. The sooner you figure that out, the better off you'll be. And that's when you'll start incorporating all kinds of body weight, pull-ups, push-ups, jump squats, sprinting, everything. Be well-rounded. All right. Yes, you can specialize if that's what you prefer to do, but still be well-rounded. There's room for everything. Always try to expand your knowledge. So that way, when you are training someone, because I'm a personal trainer, when you're training someone, you're able to better incorporate, movements and skills for that particular client, because everybody, again, is not the same. Yes, I can have a template, but that template needs to be able to sub an exercise in to do similar or different things for different people. So what did I do? Consistency. And that's in getting your sleep, getting your water, getting your protein, hitting your calories, and hitting those weights. All 5 of those things. All right. We'll break it down into detail eventually, but just wanted to get on and start trying to post more, just to kind of be, off the top of the head. I don't want it to be scripted. I want it to come straight from the head, so that way it's genuine, and not that being scripted is disingenuous. But I think these are better videos because I'm saying what comes to mind and what works. So first of many, peace out.